Good morning from the Barbados Beach House. Hope you're all well. Okay, we've got another episode for you today because we've got some more work going on. So, before I start gabbling, anyone that's new to the channel, welcome. This channel's about us building a house in Barbados. It is built, it is all done, but we're now doing some little finishing touches like cladding. Before I start talking, if you don't mind giving me a thumbs up below, that'd be greatly appreciated. And anyone commented on the video that I loaded last night, thank you very much. I will be responding today. So today's task, what are we going to be doing? We're going to be getting some marine ply and we're going to be cutting that into 1-inch strips. And then we're going to be mounting that onto the wall here with 2-foot gaps. And with a view to us trying to mount this all over the whole of this wall, all the way up here, all the way around here, and all the way back down again. Trying to do that on camera. So yeah, we're actually going to use marine ply, which obviously is pretty good at resisting moisture, etc. Also termites, you have to bear in mind termites here as well. So I would normally use a composite, but we need to try and get a good bite. We're going to start off by being a couple of inches off the floor here for water, probably 3 inches off the floor, and then every 2 foot. These are 8-foot lengths, these pieces here. And then they screw into the batten, and then each one of them click locks into each other. Say that after a few drinks. Yeah, it's going to be battening the whole wall first, 2 foot apart, and then it's going to be battening second. And I'm also going to be going up and trying to work on the barbecue today. It's taking it all apart and getting that inner skin sorted out for the heat on the barbecue. So anyway, that's going to be our plan for today. So Oren's back in the house with us. Sherman's going to be here about 9 o'clock. So we're going to get these cut. We bought 3 sheets of ply in here. We're going to get those butchered up into 1-inch slots. Hopefully 1 inch will be enough. We're going to try the 1 inch first and see how we get on. If we need more, then we'll go a little bit wider, obviously, but I think 1 inch will be fine. Obviously, on the Makita, we can use a little guide because it's only 1 inch as well, and just run them off and just cut them very quickly. And then it's a case of just mounting them with screw and plugs. Now, normally they'd use construction screws here. We're not going to be doing that. I'm going to try and find some plugs and some screws, and we're going to try and use stainless steel. Again, in H&B, guys. I've shown you guys in the past. Decking screws. They've obviously got the funny head. They are a little bit aggressive on the actual thread. So hopefully they're going to be okay on the wall plugs. But as you can see, how many is it? I think it's 25. Oh no, 50 pieces. 50 screws for 15 Bayesian, stainless steel. So I've not found anywhere on the island that's got a screw better than that, any cheaper than that. So that's what I recommend. But on the wall, we're going to need 1-inch ones because we've got 3/4 inch ply and we've got a very small lip, and these are 1 1/4 inch. I think they're the smallest ones they do. So I'm going to nip back up there in a minute and see if they've got the smaller ones. But hopefully we're going to use, we'll use sort of 1 to 1.5 to 2 inch on the battens on the wall. But obviously fixing the cladding onto the actual, the battens themselves, we ideally need 1 inch. So wish me luck with that. But anyway, I'll check in a bit later on and let you know how we're getting on. We're going to start cutting as we speak. Welcome back. Okay, let me give you a quick update. So we've actually started planing down the MDF sheets, as I said earlier on. They're marine boards, by the way. So, and they're 229 Bayesian in Koymans. Again, for those that don't know, marine ply is just obviously it's more expensive, but it's good against moisture. So if it gets wet, it doesn't absorb like a sponge and start cracking and start bowing, and yeah, so it should be a lot better to hold against moisture, etc. So we've started off by measuring how far off the floor we want to be here. As you can see, we're tighter down here than we are here because the floor itself is running for water. So we're working out we want to be about 1 inch off the floor here, which is our lowest point. But obviously as we go along here with the panels, bearing in mind the panels are going to be upright, we're going to land up going across, and then we're probably going to have to trim the base. This side also will be higher than this side because that is actually, the drain is running from this end, as you can see just in this corner, and it's running all the along behind me and then connecting into this T-junction here. So what we're trying to do at the moment is work out from 1 inch off the floor here straight up to this line here. That's our 8-foot mark. These are 98.5 inches in height. So now what we're going to try and do is fire a laser all the way along the wall, which is what we're doing now. We're just literally marking out with a laser all the lines across. That gives us our top point. In an ideal world, you do an 8-foot piece, a cut, 8-foot piece, a cut, and so on and so forth. But because we're doing 12 to 13 foot in height, to to do that all the way down in one piece, and then that all the way in one piece, and all that, it's just going to be too complicated. So we're going to start off by trying to do, and bear in mind you have to do it from one end, it's going to be from this end we have to start. So we're going to have to measure this piece out here first to ensure that we try to land on one full piece on this corner. Then we can fix them. So we're probably going to do 8 foot in height all the way along, so it's dead straight, and then put the cuts on top. I don't really want to do that, but they are machine cut, and they're plastic, so hopefully they'll sit together very tightly. And obviously we'll put the cut at the top. So fingers crossed, it means that they'll butt together. As long as they're dead straight, they'll butt together nicely. But obviously it's nice to try and have cuts sporadically going through. I mean, these are 4 foot, obviously, halfway's 4 foot, sorry. So you would obviously do an 8 foot and then a 4 foot cut, 8 foot and then a 4 foot cut. That's how we would normally do it, but I'm not too sure we're going to be able to do it with these. So anyway, we're going to go from 8 foot, as you can see, Orange put one on the wall now, just to physically work out roughly where it's going to land. So we can now work out down below, are we off the floor? If not, are we going to have to increase that height line, that 8 foot line all the way along? We may have to. I would say that this one over here is at least an inch higher than this side over here. So if we're going to go for an inch off the floor here, we're probably going to be on the floor here. So as long as that is the case, that's fine. But we will have to, if that is the case, I'm trying to get my finger. If we're on the floor here, then the further we go across, we're probably going to have to do cuts there as well. So I don't really want to have to do cuts, but obviously I want the top line that they're working on now, I want that to be dead straight all the way along with a laser. So all of the 8 foots land at the same place. That's ideally what we need to do. And that way, obviously, we make sure they're all plumb as well at the same time. Again, trying to laser in this sort of light, the very bright beige light, it's very difficult to see. Even with a green laser, it's difficult to see the line itself. So, but anyway, we're working on it. So at the moment, it seems to be working okay. I think we'll have a look at the moment from that 8 foot line to see where we actually are. I would say that we're going to land up being just about on the floor, maybe a bit lower. So we might have to increase this end. But as you can see here, we fixed the first one 4 inches off the floor. And as you can see, it's nice here, but then it also loses height along here. That's because the floor raises. But my main concern at the moment, the plastering is not straight. So as a result of that, we've got a board, as you can see, that we've got a batten that goes along and then comes out. So in an ideal world, what we should be doing is letting these off a little bit, using some window packers and packing these out, just to try and get the wall as straight as possible. It seems to level out a bit the higher up we go, but it seems to be a bit of a problem from about here downwards. So as you can see, this one here, we've let it off a little bit. So I think we need to let it off a little bit more to get it dead straight. And then obviously we need something dead straight to try and make sure we can do that with as well. So finding something of length to try and make sure it's straight is going to be difficult, and lasers don't work in the daylight. So anyway, that's where we are so far. This one here, the 8 foot one, we're actually going to put a 3-inch piece all the way along there. So we've actually got 1.5 inches for the bottom piece and 1.5 inches for the top piece as well. So that's where we are so far. Laser and lines. So yeah, I'll update you as and when we do more. Okay, we're at 20 to 3. The boys have been busy. And I've been out getting materials as always. So we have most of the battens on the wall on this side, and we're running a double thickness across the top of the garage, 1 for support, and 2 is obviously the above one is where the actual 2 pieces join, like I said in the video earlier on. So before I carry on, Gavin, if you don't mind, give me some comments below. Let me know what you think. Certainly, obviously, with regards to the wall being out of shape and us having to deal with the slopes of the actual driveway. Do we go with a bit of a bigger gap here on this side here to ensure we don't have to do any cuts over here? Or do we actually go with a smaller here? We're still going to have to cut here, and we're going to have to cut at that end. Obviously, we have the chop saw, but it's still going to have to be measuring it and trying to cut as straight as possible to ensure that the top one here, this double one we're putting in, we have to make sure that all of the 8 foots obviously land up dead straight along here. It makes the above bit a bit more straightforward. The other thing I need to do is, as I said, if it was bricks, you would lay them, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. So, and the same with this, really. You put an 8 foot here and a cut, and really you should have a cut down here and an 8 foot. So you're meant to go, 8 foot cut, 8 foot cut, 8 foot cut, and you're meant to go all the way up to the top, all the way along, and then clad all the way along to here. Obviously, what we could do is obviously cheat and go 8 foot straight to here, all the way along, cut these all the way along, and then do 8 foots all the way along, and then do the off cuts on the top all the way along. but obviously we're going to have one line going all the way along. Would that look okay, do you think? Bear in mind they're cut, factory cut, so they're going to be nice and flat, nice and straight. They would butt together nicely. Or do we alternate them all the way down? Let me know in the comments below what you think. Either way, it's going to be a ball ache. You know, we could obviously clad the 8-foot ones all the way along first, and then join the top ones, cut from the roof. We can use a chop saw to go straight in half, install. It would be easier to do it that way. But what would be the right way to do it? Let me know in the comments below. Anyway, I'll update as we go. As you can see so far, we've got this one here done to the top of the garage. And now we've got the double one, which is where the two are going to join. You know, even if we do the alternative cut, we're going to have two joining here. I'm trying to do it with my finger. We're going to have the alternate ones obviously joining here all the way along. So we're going to have to do it either way. But let me know in the comments below, and I'll update you as we progress a little bit further. Okay, 5 o'clock, close of play. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up below if you don't mind. And let me know what you think about here. So it's taking a bit longer than we thought. Obviously we've got this bottom part done, the double skin where the actual 8-foots are going to land up being. And we've got that right over here as well. Tomorrow we're going to start with the top here. We're going to get the actual top one put all the way along, and we're going to go centre in the middle. Now the other thing we are thinking about at the moment is where to run the 8s. Like I said, are we going to do 8 and an off cut and then an off cut and an 8? Obviously if we're going to take the 8-foots to here, which is where they actually they're going to be, then we'll have 8-foot all the way along to here. But when we get to this piece, then this piece here is going to land up being bigger than over here. So the lines are going to go straight across here, obviously, for these pieces, but then they're going to drop down to here. So should be okay. Loads of little midges everywhere. So here is going to be probably 5-foot, for instance, and here's going to be 4-foot. So it would go 5-foot and then back to 4-foot again. So I'm going to do one of them in the 8s straight and then the off cuts to see what it looks like. If it looks okay, i.e. you can't really see the 8-foot line going across here, then I'll take this one down to 5-foot and run it all the way across. If not, then obviously I'm going to have to take those off cuts off and put them down. So it'll be long, short, all the way along. So we sort of brick effect all the way along. But I don't really want to have to do that if I don't have to, obviously, because then I've also got them take this batten that we've made wider and do it down here as well. Because obviously we're going to be 8-foot and then go down to 4, 8, 4, 8, 4. So it does mean we're going to have to do more battens. And again, down here, we'd have to do the same thing about here. There'll be some extra battens to make sure the ones up here fit down here. Anyway, that's it so far. There was loads of midges out tonight, so I'm going to end it before I get bitten to death. Any questions, obviously hit below. Any comments below, any feedback below. Likes and dislikes as well, if you don't mind. I'll upload this tonight, and fingers crossed you can give me some feedback before we start cladding. But tomorrow, I reckon by 10 o'clock, the battening will be finished, and we will start the cladding process. So wish me luck. Thanks for watching. Check in tomorrow. Take care.